Welcome back to the Finish Line podcast with me, name Rizvi, Gaurav Kochar, and Vignesh, whatever his last name is. We are back for week two. We are on Zoom because I am in Melbourne.
Yeah,
Gaurav
he
is
left
wherever.
us.
Yes, I am. I'm studying in Melbourne, so I'm sad and I have a dog with me. Anyway, and
Studying.
who has Vignesh, who has a Mahindra cap now, so that is the only upgrade in his life he's ever going to get.
Yeah.
Um, this week we were thinking of talking about the Bahrain GP, what racing is like in India, and what was the last thing we were racing. Um, anyways, but I'll start with what have you guys been up to this week?
Gaurav, you can take it
Nothing.
away.
Oh, funny story. So yesterday I went to Kolhapur. I went in the morning. I've been. It's been very hectic my life recently again. So I went to Kolhapur yesterday in the morning. I took a 10 a.m. flight, which I booked day before, and I reached Kolhapur 11:30. I had like a midday full of meetings. While coming back, I was like, the flights were too expensive. Like they were 15K and all. So then I checked train tickets. Train tickets weren't available, and I don't do sleeper buses. Like I can't do sleeper buses. So I need the bus to be a seater bus.
Yeah.
So in the evening at like 6 o'clock, I was like, okay, that's time to leave Kolhapur because I didn't want to stay there. I wanted to come home and shoot the podcast. So I
Sure.
yeah. So, what, bro? I'm serious. So so then so I took a bus. I took a bus, I don't know, like 100 kilometers away from Kolhapur. The bus stopped for dinner. A random guy, I get down, I go to buy something. And then a random guy asks me, do you want to lift? I'm like, where you go? Yeah. He asked me, I said, I'm going to Bombay. He's like, I can drop you to Pune if you want. I was like, yeah, cool. Why not? I got into a
Kids,
stranger's car.
kids. Disclaimer: don't get into weird random people's cars. This is a
Well,
disclaimer to all the kids
I
here.
was a polo, okay. So I was like, firstly, I was like, it was a polo with the, those
Must be nice
Ola.
guy. Must be a nice guy.
Yeah, must be a nice guy. And but then I was a little freaked out because it was with a polo with those Ola instrument cluster, those,
Yeah,
yeah, so it had that. So I was a little freaked out by that. But then I was like, bro, what's gonna happen? Nothing. Worst case scenario, like we get into a fight or something because I'm strong enough to like defend myself off from killing.
what the
So
fuck?
I feel like worst case scenario, he'll like fight me or something. And then I sat with him, but bro, he drove at 60, bro, the entire way. He wanted to save fuel, I think. Well, the
Again,
bus
disclaimer:
overtook us.
guys, don't sit into random people's cars. This is not a good way
Bro,
to
the
Gaurav, what you
bus.
could have done is tell
get down and
Amrita,
walk.
you don't know who I am. Let me drive.
Bro, I told him, okay. So I thought that, okay, if I tell him I'm a racer as well, maybe to impress me, he'll drive faster. But bro, I don't know what he was on. He was just driving at 60 kilometers per hour on a highway that was completely empty, where the speed limit of that highway was 80 kilometers per hour. And in some places, 100. So I was like, bro, and that bus overtook us. Worst thing was that bus overtook us. And I was like, shit.
What the
And
fuck?
but I paid 150 extra and I reached home at 4 in the morning today. Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah.
It was a wild night. But
Lol.
yeah, just work. I've been working a lot. I'm going to Delhi this week to drive on Budh. Just
Oh,
kidding.
no way.
For work.
Uh,
But I'll ask
What?
Aman. I'll ask Aman if there's a track day. I'll go with him for the Budh track
Nice,
day.
nice.
Yeah.
What about you, Vignesh?
Yeah.
What are you doing?
so it's been exactly a week since I got back. I
Yeah,
had
today is
a
the okay.
very,
We're shooting
very
this.
long.
Okay, I wait, Vignesh. Today, if you're watching this, I don't know when this will go out, but apparently today is the day the showdown was supposed to happen in Bombay,
Yeah, it is
and
Is
happening.
happening.
Vignesh could not go.
Neither could Gaurav. What are you coming at me for?
Why do you guys not go to cool shit? Anyway, yeah, go.
Because of your
Oh shit,
friend.
bro, we're seeing a race
Fuck
car
you.
being driven and we're not driving it. It's just sad. I don't want to
Oh,
go
No,
see a
man,
that
race
number
car
still
being
a
one.
driven.
Okay, that is
It's
number
still
Yeah.
one.
Formula One, man. Come on.
Number two, name's friend scammed us big time.
Scammed us. Yeah, yeah,
Hey, hey, hey,
yeah.
hey, hey.
That.
I don't take responsibility for that. Anyway, continue.
Yeah, so I had a very, very long layover at an airport, about 18 hours, which pretty much,
Oof.
oh, it was boring, man. It was really boring. Anyways, after I got back, I haven't been doing a lot of getting a lot of random work out of the way, getting back into the zone, whatever it is, and looking for more opportunities. Yeah, that's what I went for a cricket match yesterday, which was quite exciting.
Where?
Uh, yeah, the
Oh, the
women
women's
IPL
IPL.
league. I'm not gonna
Oh,
lie. Okay, one of the team took about 20 overs to get to like 105 runs. That's their total, and they lost 9 wickets. Then the other team comes on to bat 7 overs. They score the 100 runs, and they're like, "Okay, Tata, bye." I'm like, "Oh, you should have batted first. It
oh,
would have been like a 250 plus score or something." It was insane, man. It was so good.
uh,
Them.
Yeah, but
damn.
that's about what I had for my week. How about your name? Since you've been in Australia, might have been something fun, no?
Bro, absolutely fucking not. I got my car back, so my car was in storage, and I had to get it out of it. And like, the good thing is, I can't actually believe it. I took the negative cable out before I went back to Bombay. Just the negative cable out of the battery. I was like, it surely needs a jump. There is no way it's going to start. I put the negative cable on, crank it, starts first time, and I
Wow,
was like,
impressive.
no way, no way,
Nice.
this just started. So like yeah, that's so I was just setting up in my uni dorm, which you can't see because of the Doge, but like yeah, just I'm still
Oh,
in
did
my
you get
uni
a
dorm.
new room?
It's basically a copy paste of the last room, but yeah,
Oh, you should give us a room tour.
my
Struggles of
ass
living in
room tour is
Australia.
not. I'm just joking.
Who's there, bro? Who's there?
Nobody.
Yeah, I assume
But yeah, I'm
names
just
alone.
yeah.
Oh,
Um, as we
JK.
said last
I'm
time,
his
like
only friend.
please
Clearly,
send
we're his
please
only
send
friends.
DMs.
Yeah, clearly we're his only friends because all the other friends are scamming him and us.
But yeah, just setting up in uni work, this that, nothing great. Sadly, and I booked tickets for an Ice Cube show that's on the 22nd, and I'm in
Yeah,
oh
negative
yeah,
now.
he's been asking for money back
yeah,
on Instagram. He's been asking for
yeah,
people to
that's it,
pay him
bro.
back for it.
But
Please
actually,
just
okay, we're gonna start a Go Fund Us page for our racing guys. So we have
that money will definitely
certain
not be used
colleagues.
by me for Ice Cube concerts. I
Yeah,
promise.
so we have some colleagues who actually have done this, and it worked out for them. So we were like, why not try?
Sure,
So
why not?
yeah, we're
Which
actually gonna put a link. Vignesh put a link.
I nice. Okay, done.
Yeah,
This time we will. Which actually
yeah,
brings me very quickly on to um what what we were supposed to talk about the racing in India. What was the last series you raced in, guys? You raced Vignesh, I think raced in
JK.
the thing
16.
in no.
JK.
LGB
He
F4,
he
Yeah.
did the LGBT thing
JK.
in India, but
Yeah,
like
F4.
how was the thing in the UK, man?
Oh,
Yeah, how
nasty,
is that?
man. Yeah, there's certain things I can't talk about on this podcast, and the only thing I can say is I went quickest. That's the end of story. I didn't get selected. Second part. Third part, if you know me personally, hit me up. I'll tell you the story. Otherwise, yeah, it's not going out in public. But
But I
yeah,
don't know
just
it either, man. Like, but we'll cut it out of the
I'll
podcast.
text you. I'll
Yeah,
text you.
okay. Fine.
But no, but yeah, that ruined me for a couple of days. You know, that set me back really bad because the way they conducted the events was, let's just say, not very professional of them. There's a lot of bias to a certain candidate for a certain reason. I can't divulge on this podcast, but you get the point. But otherwise, driving Brands Hatch, absolutely brilliant. The turn one Parakill, which goes downhill and then comes back up. When you sit in that compression, you actually feel your body like jerk up. It's like an absolute roller coaster driving through
That's
there.
so sick.
Yeah. Plus the car is insanely quick. That's about 300 horsepower, and it's a front wheel drive, right? So you're like trying to put the front in, and then as soon as you get on the power, the front just like sticks and rolls into the corner, and that's
Oh,
fantastic. That experience into certain corners, oh my god, brilliant. Plus the track was a little damp, plus we were still lapping about like a 46-second something lap
Yeah.
around the Brands Indy. And yeah, we had like a delta timer on the just in front of the steering wheel. And obviously you can look in that. And we did 10 laps each when we went for our first outing. And I was the last to go. And I had about an 8 tenths gap on the guy who was second quickest. So I went that quick around the track, which is only 46-second long. And the last 4 laps of my session, it was pouring down. And I was pushing. My instructor was like, dude, take it easy. I'm like, I'm not here for that, man. I'm here for pushing and having fun.
Yeah.
But it was driving Brands Hatch just surreal, man. It's so cool.
that,
It's just
I'm so
insane. But
jealous.
like with the
Yeah.
events
So
that
sick.
followed, probably will make you less jealous and probably will make you happy over in there. But
Honestly,
anyways, yeah,
no. I mean, I
that
would
was
go for
quite
the
cool.
experience for sure. I mean, yes, it is heartbreaking, but I would still want to go for the experience. And at the end of the
Fair
day,
enough.
I mean, what defines us is how we take our losses. So
Oh,
Yeah, but then
that's
Gaurav,
true.
you are going to UK in a couple of weeks, right? So it should be quite fun for you.
Wait, why is he going to
yeah,
the UK? What? Wait, what?
He's quite
yeah, I'm going
rich,
to
no?
the
You know,
UK.
he's meeting his friends.
Ah, okay. Nice.
I might do a track day like on Silverstone. If there's a track day, I'll do that
Mm,
if it's in my budget as well. But yeah, I
nice.
want to do it. So either Silverstone or Brands Hatch. I am crossing both those circuits. So let's see if there's a track day and if there's a good car. I don't want to drive a shit car, obviously, around the track. So if
Nah,
there's a
man.
decent car,
Driving shit cars fast is the best thing in the world.
No, but then if you go to circuit like Brands Hatch, doesn't matter what car it is. But if you go to a circuit like Silverstone with a shit car, you're
Silverstone,
just
yeah,
going to be
yeah,
waiting for like
exactly.
20
Bro,
minutes
yeah,
before the straight
20.
ends.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
And
it's
there are
quite
like
long.
big straights. There are like three
Yeah,
huge
Very big
straights.
straights.
fair.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Anyways,
Gaurav,
that
that's
what
what
was the
I
last car
did.
you drove? What's the last racing car you drove? What was the last race you took part in? More like,
the 1300. It's been a while actually. It's been
oh, the
seven
novice,
months.
right?
Yeah, it's been 7 months since I got into a racing car,
Damn.
and I hope I get into one in May this year, or before that for testing. Uh, so I want to do the 1600 testing. For people who don't know, that's like equivalent Formula 4 in India. Uh, the Asia and the Europe
Yeah, yeah.
Formula 4. That's an equivalent cup to
It's
that.
it's the series
Equivalent.
just below the I don't know if
2000s.
there's somebody who knows, but the MRF Challenge Summer Series that used to happen, that
Yeah.
Mick
Yeah.
Schumacher and all took part in. It's the
Jamie
series
Yeah.
just
Chadwick.
below that, just the
Yeah.
one
Jamie
below that.
Chadwick.
Yeah,
Fun fact, Jamie Chadwick like thrashed everyone. I think Mick Schumacher was part of that grid and she beat
yeah,
everyone.
Even
Yeah.
Felipe
And Jamie
Drugovich, Josh Mason, all these guys were part of that
yeah, yeah.
championship as well.
But wasn't
but
that
Jamie the
when?
year Jamie Chadwick won was Dragovich also there.
I don't think so. Drugovich won the championship. So no.
Yeah, so the year
But
Jamie Chadwick won,
um,
Schumacher was there. Mick was there.
but back then, if I remember correctly, they had the Bahrain circuit on it as well. No, that's when
Yeah.
Chetan
Yeah, yeah.
Karora drove it. No,
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. Even Vishnu drove it. Vishnu Prasad.
Vishnu didn't
Vishnu drove it that
drive
same
at
year.
that. No, different year.
I don't think Vishnu
Different year,
drove.
but
Yeah,
he drove in Bahrain. He drove in Bahrain. It was in Bahrain and it was in I think Dubai or UAE, or Dubai or in Abu
at
Dhabi as well.
Autodrome. At Autodrome.
Yeah, at Autodrome. One of these circuits, it was there. Like they used to race on one of these circuits.
I actually don't know,
But
but
but dude, that time Indian racing was like on a high, and now it's just I don't know where it's gone. They used to get super license points for that.
Yeah, with
yeah,
the
but like
MRF
that's the
challenge,
thing.
right?
MRF got out with the with something. No, that's why. And like
Yeah.
they
They're just a tire supplier for these championships in India now. It's
yeah,
all organized by JA, and you don't get any super license points at all for anything. So
because MRF is an international brand by itself. So if MRF has its series, then you might get points for it.
yeah.
Because MRF itself participates in like the rally Euro and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, but
That's
what's up? What was the last car you drove, man?
actually not that long, 2 months ago, I think, the ETOS Cup, which was absolutely garbage for reasons again we can't get into, but yeah, pretty shit. had a very big crash. Not very big crash, but like almost flipped crash.
Yeah.
Pretty garbage. That car's fun to drive, but like it's garbage. Um, but yeah, that I think that was the last time I drove a car. I was thinking of
But
doing a test for F4s, but then I did.
the ETO's Cup is also front wheel, right? So when
Yeah.
you're driving,
Yeah, front wheel.
I I don't think I've had experience driving a front wheel race car in India.
Oof, it's so much fun. It's so much fun. Dude, that ETOs, you can go like if you have the wheel, like so if you do heel and toe, I figured this out. I don't know if you guys know, but like we are very amateur racers. So if you think, oh, why the fuck was he not doing this?
Before.
It's because like I did not figure it out. But like I think in practice 2 or 3, like just before quali or just before quali, or like the outlap or for a race or something. I don't remember when. I was going and like turn 4. Okay, I go to turn 4, and I was like, what if I don't
The turn
downshift to
4
third?
is left.
Yeah,
Yeah, the
Narrow
left
one.
hand after the
after
straight.
turn 4 is the straight, like just after the straight.
After the straight. Yeah, just after the
Yeah,
straight, the
at
left. Yeah.
MMRT turn 4. Yeah,
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, yeah.
so before the D.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
I while coming in, so we're on 4th. Yeah, so we go down to 3rd in ETOs. I don't know if the same for what gear it was for 1300, but you go down to 3rd, and I was like, what if I don't go into 3rd like exactly? What if I like heel and toe into 3rd into the corner? And I went, and I had like coldish tires, and I was like, what is this grip I am getting? I was
Yeah.
like, why didn't I do this the entire weekend? What is
But the
going
So
on
thing
here?
did you not
the thing
heel
with
and
the
toe in
heel and toe,
1300s?
You 1300s, you can just 1300s. No, it's a bit different because you're always in a higher rev in 1300s. You don't
Yeah,
always
correct.
have to
But
heel and
heel
toe.
and toe, no, you don't always have to. But then double D, the heel and toe work, like after the turn 4, when you heel and toe, you get a lot more grip, especially when especially when there was oil on the track. Remember when we were
You
so
don't
when
need
we
to,
were going,
but that's the thing. You don't after near the D's. You don't downshift anywhere. No, so heel and toe
not
only
the
works
D's at the corner at turn 4. I'm saying.
at turn 4. I mean, you can, but like it doesn't make a huge difference in 1300s. That's what I've seen because 1300s don't have enough power to make that much
but
difference.
dude,
Not
even with
neither do the
the ATOs, for I couldn't heel and toe because the brake and the throttle was so far away,
yeah
my foot wouldn't quite reach. Yeah, so it
yeah,
was
but like
just
Wow.
that's how I know. Like that, the only reason I could do it is because I do this all day long with my car here and my car back home. And my car back home like is a diesel Skoda, so like it does not blip at all when you push the throttle. So it just but like in a petrol car, it just goes
Yeah.
when you go. So I went, vroom, I'm like, whoa, and then it goes.
Yeah.
But like yeah, that's basically I drove the ETOs like 2 months ago or something, but hopefully something else sometime soon.
But okay, I have a question. So,
Yes.
which if you wanna get ahead in racing in India, which open wheel cup would you race in? And is it
F
worth it?
F4 F4 first.
F4 is F4 is what? The JK tire
LGB
F4,
LGB
LGB.
LGBs.
But that doesn't get you anywhere, and there's no recognition
I
also for
know
that.
it doesn't get you anywhere, but to be honest, if a 1600 does not get me super license points, there's no point getting in 1600 because the amount of money you spend in 1600, for example, if you're spending 10 lakhs for the whole season, yes, Vignesh?
Yeah.
yeah, no, about 20.
So 20 lakhs for a
20 for the
1600.
whole season.
I have something
Are you
around
serious?
that, man. Oh
Yeah,
no,
10,
No, I
wait,
think
10
it's
sorry, man.
12
No,
or
no, no, no,
12.
no.
no, no, 10
20,
is
20, 20
is
was for the
2000s.
2000s.
Yeah,
This is
yeah, yeah.
about 12, 10 or 12.
Yeah, so
Bro,
if you
no,
spend
2000s is 30 lakhs.
No, 2000 is
no,
7
bro,
per
no,
round, and
bro,
there were 3
no,
rounds.
no, yeah, yeah.
No, no, right. There were 4
No, there
rounds,
were
so
4 rounds.
28. He's
There
right.
were
He's
four
right.
rounds.
28.
Yeah, it's 30 lakhs.
So if 1600 is around 12 lakhs, okay,
12 lakhs, yeah,
if
four.
you do
Yeah.
12 for a season, yeah, and you're still not getting in super license points, that is messed up. And like it, if you're not getting any kind of recognition the same way you're getting in, because from what I feel, doing F4s like the LGBs is good for a driver skill, because one, you're not using slick tires, so you have to be a bit more smooth and a bit more like you have to carry more speed into corners and stuff, so that builds up driver skill a lot, unless like you have Ignatius car and like you fuck up a lot. um like you 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 get, you learn a lot while you are in F4s, like, and
But
1300s.
also,
Yeah, yeah.
if you think about it, like there are no wings, so it's really hard if
Yeah,
you
I
like.
that's true, that's true. It's, but that's the thing. If you are quick in 30, like if you are quick in 1600s, like if you are, sorry, if you are quick in LGBs, you are for sure going to be quick in like 1600s. That's what I feel. I might be wrong, but if you're quick in those LGB cars, and if you're consistently quick in that LGB car, you're for sure going to be quick in the 1600s.
Okay, I can add
So
in something here.
yeah,
With, but you're right. I agree. The LGBA4 is the way to start in India if you want to do a season in the 1300s, do a season in F4s, and that's about what you want to race in India. Um, and you're also right about it teaching you the driver skill, with working the mechanical grip. And I think that
mm,
helped me a lot when I raced internationally as well. The corners which are slow and require a lot of time through the corner. Those are the corners where you can really shine because
yeah,
of the finesse that you learn from the JKF first. Um, but that doesn't make you quick in cars with wings and slick tires. The
yeah.
reason
But
Yeah,
that's
is
the thing.
the driving
It's
style
it's
is
mechanical grip
completely
versus
opposite
aero grip.
versus aero
Aero
grip.
grip,
So
yeah,
yeah,
learning aero grip is something which is
it's
so
really,
difficult,
yeah,
and it is
yeah,
something you really have to rewire your brain about driving a car, because it is the faster you go, the more grip you have, and then to be able to start trusting that car quick enough
yeah,
to be able to do that is a real task. So not more than one season to be spent here, because obviously here teaches you excellent racecraft, because everyone's so
yeah,
far
racecraft,
up and
exactly. Yeah,
they're
and the
so
grid
bunched
has
up
the
in the
best
field.
drivers.
Yeah, they're
Yeah, in
so
India,
bunched
these the
up
best
as well
drivers of
together.
India. Yeah.
Yeah, like if there's a grid of about 25 cars, the top 16, 17 are within like a second of each other. So
yeah,
that really,
Yeah.
that quality and that racecraft that you get with these kind of tires here, these kind of cars here are phenomenal. But then when you need to get out of here before this sucks you into the same spiral of doing the same thing again and again, because Gaurav and I were speaking about this the other day. It essentially leads to a dead end, whether you're doing the 1600,
yeah,
2000 JKF or anything, it all comes to the same dead end, because there isn't quite a ladder like there is in
yeah.
countries,
But and the
like
problem
UK,
is,
Spain, whatever.
like we said, till the 2000s, it's like a stepping stone, with, even with money and with how much talent you need. So it's 1300s mechanical, LGB mechanical grip, 1600s little bit aero grip, like comparatively more, but like compared to internationals it's less. Then it goes to 2000s, but when you go to 2000s, it's 30 lakhs, and then you're capped. You don't know what you can do, because
Yeah,
if you want
but
to
then
go
at that time
international,
you've already spent about maybe like a crore with like the
1
amount of
cr easy,
testing that you're
easy,
doing.
easy,
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 more
and
than a
and
easy,
crore.
easy,
and
Yes.
then that itself can get you about like a quarter of season internationally, where you learn so
yep,
much more
exactly,
using data and stuff like that. But then why I said, why after JKF4 you can go abroad and do, because one of our friends also did this. He did the JKF4, so he actually did the 1300s. Then he went and did the testing for the 1600, 2000, and just like a couple testings just to get up to pace with the car, and then went and is racing now in the British F4, and he's doing considerably pretty well, because I think the testing is all you need, because the racecraft you can develop even there. So I think it's a good stepping stone just to do like a couple tests, so you can make sure you're good, and you trust the car with the wings and the slick tires, and then it's essentially going there and replicating that abroad. So that's pretty much uh, what the ideal stepping stone
yeah.
could
And
be, in my
that's the thing.
opinion.
um it it goes, it goes linear for a while,
And
till
then
the
it's just
F4,
flat.
and then
Yeah.
it's flat because we don't know what to do. But that's the thing, when MRF was racing internationally, we had an option. It brought MRF out to a wider market. It showed it to like
They had a
people
global
abroad.
presence, but yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah.
and now it's not that big anymore. Like it's nationally it's really big. It's the biggest championship in India. There is no question about that.
Yeah.
But still, the issue is that
Yeah,
it doesn't have an international presence, and it has, okay, you spend 30 lakhs, then where do you go? Because you have, the next thing is, if you, for example, you go to in a European F4, that's 1 CR straight, so that's a 70 lakh jump, or
Yeah.
more
exactly.
than
And
1 CR.
there are like three, four major problems. One, like when MRF was representing India at a global scale for motorsports, there were people like Mick Schumacher, like Dragovic, like Jamie Chadwick, who came to India to race, and the Indians would get to race with all of them. Right now, you go to the 1600s, you go to the 2000s, the same people racing amongst each other. So you're not getting to learn anything new. You're going to race against, you know who you're going to race against. So it's just, you're not going to learn anything like, you're not upskilling yourself, at least according to racecraft, because you're going to
Yep.
be, how, and I know how you're going to race. I know how Vignesh is going to race. So you have, so like when you're racing with a person for so long, you know what the person's going to do, how the person's going to react when you do something. And that becomes a skill barrier for us, firstly. And secondly, if you win, there's no incentive that India is giving you. If you
Yeah.
win a
Very true.
1600, you're paying 12 lakhs and you're not getting anything in return. What's the point? Like there's no
Yeah.
return from a 12 lakh investment. Like, and even if you're winning it, you're winning the championship and there's no investment. So like there's no return on investment. Like what, then it becomes like for parents also. And usually it's your parents who put you into racing. So now if a parent is spending say 12 lakhs in a 1600 cup, my son wins it. Okay, fine. Now I am not getting any sponsors. I am not getting any sort of accolades that will help me promote my kid and get earn money from it. So why will I keep spending into the sport in a
That's
country
true.
where I'm not going to get anything?
I
And
That's
agree,
true.
then he
but
goes and pays the.
But then I
Yeah,
think the
go ahead.
major issue with the country is, like you said, parents are the one who are putting in the money, and this leads us to our next point of conversation about this, which is the sponsorship aspect. Right, like we were talking, the sponsorship is the biggest cause of Indians not making it uh, to Europe, for example. And the reason for that, like we were speaking about, is since the super license points were taken out and a lot of the championships have lost a lot of credibility, the viewership on that is skyrocketed downwards. And you barely get into the triple digits on YouTube, for example. I mean, this is facts, right? It is facts. When you look at
You
Yeah.
said
the MRF
skyrocketed
championship,
downwards. That was funny. Yeah.
yeah, so it's essentially all gone. It's all gone downwards. You barely have
Gone
double digits,
downwards. Yeah.
and then
It has crashed
well,
down.
you yeah, well, skyrocketed downwards sounds a lot better to say. Anyways, it's gone downwards, and then that is, I mean, obviously, when you have a sponsor come on board,
Stonks and
yeah,
stonks and
yeah, yeah, the Shiba Inu thing, stonks
yeah, no, no, no,
downwards,
no, stonks, like
stonks, yeah,
the
no
Stonks,
stonks.
the
yeah,
stock
I got it.
stonks. Yeah, that
Oh, okay,
one.
yeah, that one. Yeah,
yeah.
so like I
Yeah.
was saying,
It's a
when a sponsor comes on board, I mean, this is whatever I'm telling you is my interaction with a lot of companies and
To your
first-hand
experience.
experience.
Yeah.
Yeah. So essentially, when you go to a company and say, look, I have this championship that I want to race in, and I need X amount of money from you, they're going to come out and say only one thing at the end, like, what am I getting in return? What is the return on investment?
hmm.
Because at
uh,
the end of the day, they're there to make money and not just give out money to people who want to
yeah,
fulfill their dreams.
they
Because
want the
obviously, you're not a
exposure. They want,
philanthropist.
yeah,
Exactly. And then when you come at look at a scene in India, for example, like the even look, let's look at the MRF championship, okay? Because that is apparently the biggest championship in India. When you look at it, the championship, you can view it only on YouTube and Facebook, which are terrible, terrible platforms to start with. YouTube is still all right, but Facebook, I mean, come on, we're not 70-year-olds sitting here. Let's be honest. And the viewership on that is also dismal. It's like maybe 30, 40 views, and it's all the parents of the drivers who couldn't make it there. Let's be honest, because at least I know for a fact that my parents watched the race. when I was
Yeah.
driving. And
Jokes on you, my parents don't watch the race.
because your
Bro, for
dad's damn
JK
young,
Tire,
usually your parents are there.
yeah, for
Nah,
JK
my
Tire,
my friends are watching, man. The two friends I
Okay.
have. The
oh,
two
for
friends I
JK,
have.
no, bro, I was there, so I wasn't watching. But also for JK Tire, if there are 100 people, I feel like 25 people are from my family because my family is so big.
Yeah, so essentially, you see my point, right? There's barely any viewership. So the person who's putting that amount into you, let's say, for example, a good company right here, right? Mentos. If Mentos puts their livery
Sponsor
on the
us.
car,
Yeah.
yeah, for example, if Mentos puts their livery on the car, they want people to look at it and be like, oh my God, this is the car this guy was driving, and I want to buy Mentos. Obviously, that's the major reason why you have publicity in the first place. So you get return on what people see. But if there are no returns, why would a company even bother investing? Plus, the championship costs are okay, they're cheaper in India compared to abroad. But for an Indian company, that is still quite high. Why would you even want to put that amount in
True.
when you're not even getting anything close to it back? The only way you can
Fact.
like potentially like squeeze some value out of this deal that you're doing with the company for the company is by having the liveried car displayed at their exhibitions or events or other stuff,
Or
blah blah blah.
Instagram
But
and
that
stuff
also,
like the social
I
media
mean,
thing. That's it.
yes, but
Max.
then if you look at MRF and JK ka viewership also on and their amount of followers that they have on Instagram, that is barely anything. And it all caters to a certain audience that may or may not cater to most of the audience that the
Mm.
company is trying to reach, right? And that is, for starters, one of the major reason why there is no Indian, trying to put in the money, because the companies got to believe that this is a way they can make money through marketing. But if they don't have anything to show for, like if the drivers don't have anything to show for when they're racing in India, when they don't have any exposure and they're not able to get in returns here, the companies are like, why should I put higher amounts and expect the same thing when I'm going to go into a loss anyways? And that is, I think, one of the major reasons why you don't see enough Indian drivers abroad. And the drivers that you do see, they're all obviously sponsored by their parents who are very rich, affluent, wealthy. They've got big companies going around them. And I can literally name all the Indian drivers who are racing abroad on one hand, and that is absolutely terrible. And this is what just like makes me want to quit at the same time, because however hard you try, at the end of the day this will be the only factor which is going to stop you, because obviously talent can be worked upon by hours and hours of testing in the sim, for example, or even on
Which
track.
requires money
uh,
again.
yeah, no, but see, in the Indian situation, it's not very high, the requirements for testing also. And like you said, it's the parents putting in the money. So they'll obviously want their kids to see, they'll obviously want to see their kids
That is
in the
why I think
higher
we
ranks.
see more people who internationally would be known as gentleman drivers.
Yeah,
A lot of gentleman drivers in Indian racing
yeah,
in the national championships as well. Not JK
agreed.
and all, but in MRF, like the IJTC Cup, a lot of people you see
That is
are,
essentially just gentleman drivers.
yeah, and because they have earned enough to spend their own money in
Yeah, because
Money,
that
racing.
is
yeah.
like recreation when we're trying to make a career out of it, and it doesn't quite bode well,
Yep.
Yeah.
with both the audience. And then even if you say, for example, like let's keep the same example, like mentors, if they want to, instead of like a B2C connect, they want to do a B2B connect. There aren't enough people on track. There isn't an audience large enough to come and try and, make an impact out of what the company wants. And I think that is the biggest limiting factor
And
in my
I
opinion.
think that's the thing. We need more championships like the Indian Racing League happening in India,
Yeah.
because that
No,
created a
I
lot
feel
of buzz,
like
because the amount of, sorry, you can go ahead.
no, sorry. No. That created a
So
lot of buzz, true. But
yeah,
then I
it
feel like the first you finish.
the thing is, my friends sent me pictures of banners that they put up in Bombay, which is my friends who have zero interest in racing and have zero
Mm.
idea of what all this shit is. So that is how you need marketing, and that was good marketing. That is what
Yeah.
we need in India.
This is what
And
I'll
Exactly,
tell
and
you.
I feel like
Even
they can.
Formula
No,
E
sir.
was quite nice.
But I feel like they can do this for the JK Tire events as well. See, it's not like JK Tire is doing it for free. And I get like they if JK Tire promotes the event well, I'm sure a lot of people will come and see the races because at the end of the day, there's still like a lot of I feel like the JK Tire, the F4s, the championship is a lot is the most fun championship in India to watch, especially when it's in Curry because you can see the cars so close, you can see the entire track. I don't think
yeah,
you get an experience like that in the entire world, like
You
10
won.
cars being so close to each other. While you can see the entire track, where you can
Yeah.
see every move that is made. I don't think you can see that anywhere in the world. If people promote it well, people will come and watch. But also, if you're talking about it only from the sponsor's point of view. When a
Yeah.
racer itself is not getting anything from like winning a race,
Yeah.
what's the point? Like, yeah,
Yeah.
so
Dude, a
that's
racer would race only when a company is ready to put in the money. And a racer would only race and the company would only put in the money if there is a next step to it, if they can get promoted at a higher level. So I think the base cost, the base issue is obviously, I mean, that incentive for sure makes a big difference because in certain other championships abroad, let's look at the IndyCar ladder, for example. Because if you win the Indy Lights or whatever, you get a scholarship, which technically gives you like a free seat in the next step in the
not really.
ladder,
It gives
something
you
like that.
enough. I think it gives you like enough money to pitch a seat. So it gives you like something around a half a million or some shit like that.
Yeah, see, that is
Almost.
exactly
also
that's how it should work.
Yeah.
it's not the whole thing because
Exactly.
obviously you
It's
can't
prize
expect
money. You what
yeah,
you mean to say is
exactly.
you need prize money.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
even the
JK
French
Tire, for
F4
example,
championship. Sorry, go
sorry, JK Tire, for example, we're paying 6 lakhs in the championship, and the winner, if he gets 4 lakhs, it's 2 lakhs lost for him.
ahead. Yeah, and then
What's the point?
when I drove the 2 rounds of the French F4 championship, I figured out that the championship winner gets 100,000 euro scholarship ticket to the whatever next
Hmm.
level that that person chooses for, and that incentive is what drives people to perform, you know, day after day and put in that time, money and effort then with the sponsors, because you know you can make that deal with the sponsor. For example, like if I do well in this, if I go to the next level, I'll have your branding for free because I'll already have so much more money invested in me by the organizers that I'll give you the exposure that you want at a much bigger scale, but by you investing very little. And I think that's a lot. If you look at a lot of other drivers who made into F1, if you look at, for example, what's that guy's name? Magnussen. He has that Danish company, Stock Emballage or something, who've
Hmm.
been with him forever. Even with Sainz, I think the Estrella Galicia,
Hmm.
they've been with him forever. And a lot of other companies, if you look at like look, the Stivelo bikes, and they're a homegrown Monaco brand. So my point is, if an Indian company won't support an Indian driver, why would anyone else step in? And then this leads me on to the next point of conversation, which is talent managers, for example, or you know, managers in general. I've had two managers till date. The first one was just getting in the sport with me, and he didn't know anything, and uh, I was stranded in France for 2 days because of him. So that relationship ended pretty much then. And then the second sponsorship manager is who Gaurav and I worked with, or I still work with. I'm not sure who Gaurav does, but anyways, the thing is,
I don't know.
people, yeah, well, the thing is, people uh, in India still consider, well, companies in India still consider racing as like a luxury commodity instead of sport. So the
Yeah.
tax or whatever added on that is also pretty
Hi.
high, and they don't want to put in that amount of money. Even through CSR, they don't want to put it in because, I mean, come on, they really want some returns at the end of the day. And when you look at these managers, they're just up and coming. They don't have a lot of contacts. They go with you. The both of you get frustrated. Trust me, this is my exact story. So the both of you get frustrated. Then you bring in somebody. This guy speaks. The sponsorship manager speaks to someone, and that is a never ending thing because whatever amount it is, people
So you
want
go into
returns
a
which you're
negative
not
feedback
able to.
loop of sorts.
Yeah, pretty much. And then when you look at managers abroad, when you go and go up to them, for example, I was speaking to a couple managers based out of Portugal and England. When you go to them, they're like, okay, what championship do you want to race? And I said, this is the championship auto race. And they're like, okay, do you have the budget? I'm like, no, that's why I'm coming to you. So you help me find them. And then they're like, that's not how we work. We work in a way that you bring a sponsor on your own for starters with like a base amount to run the championship. Then we'll help you find other people who are interested to put the money in you, for extra days of testing or whatever, for you to get up to the top of the championship. And then we'll be the ones to guide your career in the right direction with the right amount of funding once you start from the grassroots. And the grassroots in Europe is so much more expensive than it is in India, that it is impossible for an Indian to find that amount of sponsorship for a full season from India to race in Europe, for example. Because even if you look at one
Even
of our
karting, no?
friends,
Even
yeah,
even
even
even with
karting
karting.
is
Even
so
karting, yeah,
expensive.
yeah.
And
So
karting,
karting a
okay, fair
championship in
enough.
India costs 6 lakhs. A kart, for example, in India costs 2.5, I think.
Yeah,
No,
Tony kart.
sorry, eight.
Yeah,
No,
Tony kart
eight
costs
lakhs.
2.5, 2.5.
The X30 costs 8 to 12 lakhs. Okay,
Mhm.
X30, I'm saying. So now, the same thing abroad, it costs 25 to 30 lakhs a cart,
Yeah,
and
dude,
the
to run a full
championship also costs
championship
that much.
is like a couple 100,000 euros, which is, it- I mean, it's very difficult to think of that kind of money when you come from a middle class family trying to make it.
Mm.
And that's the situation with pretty much everyone who's trying to make it. Because if you come from like a family, who makes bare minimum wage, and you want to try and make it to get into racing, I'm sorry, but you gotta need more than that. And I'm not just saying
I
that,
don't
okay,
think there's any
no,
entry for that person.
what I'm saying is we are privileged enough to be where we are because of
We
what
are
our family has
exactly,
given us. I'm not
exactly.
denying
Yeah.
that at all. But what I'm trying to say is it is very difficult for a person with both parents earning like enough to keep them going trying to get into a sport, because there is no way you can prove talent. I mean that's all around the world. Let's not get into that. But yeah, essentially what we're trying to convey is it's quite difficult to get sponsors, and managers are pretty much useless without
They
you
have no
having a
experience,
direction.
honestly.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's true.
So
yeah, they
so
have no experience.
useless. But then that's what you want, right? You want experience, and experience is what takes you places.
So
Fair.
basically,
Yeah,
at the end
this
of
took a
it,
deep turn.
everything comes with a
This
cost.
took it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
basically everything comes with a cost, and to get money, you have to spend more. To get sponsors, you have to spend more. To get a good agent, you have to spend more.
yeah. To
So
get money, you
basically,
have to
please
spend
go
money.
fund us. So basically, go fund us.
Yeah, dude, this conversation took such a turn that it started hurting me. First-hand
I could
experience,
see the
like
pain in
Yeah.
your eyes
I know,
just now.
man, it was quite serious.
Yeah.
But
Okay,
Uh,
now quickly, 5 minute recap of the Bahrain Grand Prix, and then we'll end this podcast. So let's start. Okay, we're just gonna give our points, and firstly the
no,
cars,
just okay.
uh,
Rate the
6 on 10.
qualifying out of 10.
the
No, rate the
qualifying,
entire whole race.
Whole race.
okay,
Okay.
the whole,
Six
let's say
point
the
five.
whole weekend, I was gonna say 7. I without Alonso in the picture, I'd probably give it a 5. Those 2 extra points
4.
just to Padre Nando. And whole reason for that is I'm so happy he's finally gotten a car where he's happy, because you can see it on his face,
Yeah, the
beaming.
way
He's
the
just beaming,
radios,
man.
and
He's
then
just putting out
yeah,
so much
exactly. I'm so
positive
happy.
energy.
Yeah,
Chad
And
Alonso
yeah,
is back, man.
I
yeah.
saw a reel with his race engineer, his first mechanic, Mikey Brown, and he said he connected so well with us. And this is Aston Martin on merit. This isn't them, based on ill
I
luck
mean,
of others.
look,
Okay,
look.
okay,
They would have.
Leclerc is the only
Yeah,
one
but still,
ill luck, but then
but
otherwise
that's
he was able
P.
to
Even if
pass
he was been,
everyone.
he would have been P4. I would have been fine because,
Yeah,
dude,
but Leclerc was the only
a
Yeah.
reason he got
step
the
that
podium.
big.
Fair play. But then that step that Aston Martin have made from last year, and apparently a lot of reports like Amos and everyone say that this Aston Martin is quicker than the previous year's Red Bull. So you just imagine the kind of step they've made.
Exactly. Yeah, and
But
apparently the Red
hmm,
Bull car this year is so fast that after the 30th lap, Red Bull was
Yeah,
on
they
like
tuned the
70%
engines
power.
down.
This
They could have
70%
been a
power.
lap,
So
1 second lap
yeah,
quicker. Yeah, I
they were
saw that was
45
insane.
seconds. They were 45 seconds ahead of any other
Red Bull car.
Red Bull
constructor's
car.
car. Yeah, a non-Red Bull car. Bro, I don't understand. This is very sad. I mean, wasn't the whole point of the regulations to like bring the cars
It's
closer? What
it's true, but then when you have people who do
Adrian
a
Newey,
better
for
job than you,
example.
what can you do? Like again, Adrian knew he can see air, man.
Yeah,
And
bro.
and plus,
I'm sad.
um, it's see, I agree with what you're saying. Okay, first of all, I rate the entire. If I had to rate the entire weekend, fucking 8. No
Mhm.
no argument there, because I have never been this excited from FP1 and FP2 in my entire life.
Yeah,
I
because
have
Lando was up there.
never
Yeah,
ever been this excited.
yeah,
I have been
yeah,
watching F1 for almost 11 years. I have never been this excited after FP1.
yeah.
Almost never. And honestly, like, um it was a lot of hype. I started speaking Spanish for 2 days because of
Yeah.
Fernand. Like, all my story was just in Spanish because I was that excited. But yeah, um, see, he's a very talented driver, and I'm really happy that he got a good car. But the thing with these regulations is when you do a good job, you can't blame somebody else for being fast. And that's what I don't understand with Mercedes as well. That's what I don't understand with Mercedes as well. Like, Mercedes issued that sorry note or whatever they did, or whatever
Yeah.
they were trying to do with that we weren't quick enough. And like, okay, I understand you aren't quick enough, but then I don't understand what you're trying to do. Are you trying to be the victim in this situation when you've done a bad job yourself?
Dude, did you see Mercedes have even given their chief designer Mike Elliott, I think his name is, they've
Yeah,
given
yeah.
him an ultimatum to come up with a solution or with a different design. And there's been a lot of reports that they're going to come out with a radical design sometime mid-season. There's going to be like a
Yeah, near
crap
I
ton of
I heard near
upgrades
Baku
at
or
Imola
something, like
as
they're
well.
changing the
Yeah,
signboard and
Yeah,
stuff.
Baku.
Yeah.
Plus,
yeah,
they're going to
yeah.
have a big amount of upgrades coming um just from Imola
Saudi.
onwards for the zero
Yeah.
point design. No, from Imola, which is I think race
But
three,
even for Saudi,
four.
they have a few changes. Even for Saudi, they have a few changes.
They
But
they
also, did you
definitely
see the?
need few changes.
But also,
They're
did you
They
see?
need
bound.
a lot more than few changes. They need a lot more than few changes.
But also, did you see post race interview between Checo and Alonso, where
Three
Yeah,
Checo
Red
and I
Bulls
know,
on the
yeah,
good to
podium.
see 3 Red Bull cars. I was like, no
yes,
way.
that was
To
crazy.
be honest, when I saw Cristiano Ronaldo say, copying is the best form of flattery and all that stuff, I'm sure this guy didn't say the same thing when the Mercedes was pink. I'm sure he
Yeah,
didn't
yeah.
say that because
Yeah,
then it was them, and now it's just roles reversal. So you're seeing
No,
Cristiano
but then
Ronaldo
that's the thing.
uh, be like the
It's
uptight guy. You change your car and all that stuff, and then you see
oh, bro,
Toto Wolff.
that was sick though. That was sick
And
though.
then and
yeah,
then
yeah,
you
that
see
was sick.
Toto
That
Wolff
was
be,
sick. That
you
was
see
sick.
Toto Wolff be
Yeah,
the crybaby, which was exactly the scene back in
Yeah, that's
2020 or
that's what
something like
always
that.
happens. That's what
that's
always
what always
that's
happens. The
that's what
constructor
happened with
that's winning
the
is always on top. Yeah,
that's what happened with the F duct first. That's what happened with
Yeah.
the blown diffuser. That's what
yeah.
happened with the what's
The
it
thing
called?
that
I mean, bro,
the thing
if
with Kubica putting his hand on something, I
That
forget
was
what
the
that
F
is.
duct. F duct. F
Yeah,
duct.
F
yeah,
duct,
left
F
duck.
duct.
Yeah.
But that's how racing works. I mean, if you're
Yeah.
the winning championship, the
The
second team is
DAS.
always going to find something. Yeah,
Nah,
the DAS.
Das was just bullshit. Like they were it was just one protest and then they were done.
Yeah, but that
But
was
then
still
DAS
very,
was
yeah, that was just
yeah that
so
season.
impressive.
Yeah.
Bro, that season Mercedes was
That
mad. Like,
Mercedes,
bro,
That
I don't think anyone
the
can
that
compare.
Das
Mercedes.
Das was something I would compare to the second pedal in the McLaren in 1988
Mm,
in
yeah,
98, sorry.
I remember.
The
Yeah,
It took them 50
yeah,
bucks to put it,
yeah.
and um everybody else spent like thousands and thousands of dollars trying to build a system, and Das was just literally the same. They spent like almost no money for it.
Because
But
it's just
DAS
being
was
smart.
Yeah,
impressive, bro. That was
that was
I
fun.
don't
That
know.
was
Like
fun.
Mercedes, bro. That's why I feel like Toto Wolff is a very smart man. Like if put into proper
He is
use.
he
I
is
don't know.
good. He is good at mm, getting the best out of the good people. That's what he's good at,
Yeah,
and that's what he was always
that's
good
what
at
you
it. But
need.
then, yeah, and that's what you
Yeah,
need from team principal. But also, it's really funny to me that Alpine was saying oh no, we are just sandbagging. No, we were good in the program, and
Yeah,
then they were
they were
so
shit.
garbage.
They were
Yeah.
shit.
Bro,
The only
McLaren.
rescue they
Oh
had,
my
the
God.
only rescue
Bro,
Alpine
McLaren
had
was
this
just sad,
weekend
dude.
was Gasly's charge. The only
Yeah,
thing,
Yeah,
in my
Gasly charge.
opinion.
But
and that was also
McLaren
lucky. I
is
think he wouldn't have scored points if there was no safety car, like the virtual safety car.
Yeah,
If
and
he wouldn't
yeah.
have
Leclerc
Bro,
wouldn't
done,
so
have DNF'd.
yeah, that's
okay.
Uh,
Okay,
uh,
so
uh,
listen to this theory. Now, if Verstappen, if Red Bull have so much pace in their car, which Verstappen everyone knows is the number one driver, if he continues winning all the races,
yeah.
Verstappen will be champion by Zanderwood, which is his home race.
Oh, that would be so
Then
cool.
then he can retire from the championship. Ricardo can come into the picture,
Yeah,
and
what
not
if
gonna
they
happen.
continue,
my
if they
man.
continue,
Right.
if wait,
What the fuck?
let me finish. If they continue winning, by the end of the year, there'll be three Red Bull cars in the top three positions, with
Yeah, we're
like the
too
constructors
optimistic.
winning by a
And you
margin.
think,
But
Too
and you think,
optimistic.
and you think Ricardo will come in, be as fast as everybody else in the Red Bull that he's never driven
yeah,
before?
for sure. Yeah, for sure. Bro, yeah, that Red Bull
What makes
car.
I don't understand what makes you think that Ricardo's the whole problem with he had in McLaren will not be the same problem he'll have here, because again he does not want a car
Bro, because
that goes
again,
slowing
he
down.
has worked with the people at Red Bull for a long time.
Yeah,
It'll be a lot
yeah.
easier for okay, maybe one or two races, but it'll be a lot easier for him to adjust because he's worked with them for that long. He never
Yeah,
see after Renault, the first year he struggled, but second year, bro, he was on top. Like
No,
he
no,
was
he did
outperforming
struggle
the
a
club.
lot the first year. He was okay in the first year.
Okay,
second
yeah, he
year
was
was
okay, but
even worse,
second year he was
honestly.
no,
No,
dude.
second year
Second
was
year he was doing
worse.
well.
No,
I
second year
don't
was
think
better.
so.
Yeah,
Really?
second year
But
he
by
got three
not by a lot
podiums.
though. Oh,
No,
by
no,
what?
second
Renault
year was
or
the COVID thing.
Yeah, Renault, yeah, Renault.
Renault, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that's
I
what
thought
I'm
you were
saying.
saying
McLaren,
Renault,
no.
he did
McLaren.
so well.
Never mind.
Yeah. Not for
McLaren, no.
McLaren. No, not
Hey,
McLaren.
and
I'm saying Renault.
no,
Yeah.
McLaren, no. Renault,
No,
yes,
but
Yeah,
also
but let's be
the Red Bull car,
optimistic.
yeah,
Let's hope for this.
that
that's
will
Yeah,
not
not
let's
gonna
hope
happen.
for this.
happen.
I am sure that's
But
not
Stop.
going to happen.
George Russell has come out and said this, that Red Bull, they're so quick they're going to win every race. Even Leclerc said they're on another planet with race pace. And to be honest, I can just feel sad for Leclerc because through no fault of his own, the car is that slow,
Yeah,
and
man.
he's put it in places it doesn't necessarily belong, right up with Perez. But then the car just get. I just feel terribly sorry for him.
So
Yeah, man.
Sainz
at this
again, he's
point,
not
there's no
up there.
point talking about Ferrari, dude. There's no point. Like it's
Yeah.
I
it's
love
a,
how the biggest Ferrari fanboy in our group is saying this.
bro.
I'm a
I don't
Ferrari
understand.
fan
Like,
too,
what's the
man.
No, he's
bro?
the
I've
biggest
This
been
fanboy
like,
in this
is
group.
yeah, Ferrari is like, bro. It's not even like
Where is
it's
where
it's
is
a
Mercedes?
culture. It's a
Where is Red Bull?
culture.
Where is Ferrari?
bro. I don't think that now. I feel like people stop drawing red cars. They'll draw blue cars.
Blue cast, blue or
Yeah,
black.
All right.
yeah, blue are like
That
No,
brings
but
us to the
dude,
end of this.
not yet, not
Uh,
yet, not
podcast.
yet,
Yeah.
not yet, not yet,
Fuck
not yet.
you. That's
There
it.
were three rookies. There were three rookies this weekend. Let's talk about the rookies because one of them did a fantastic job. One of them, only one of them. And that for
Oh,
me
Logan
is Logan
Sargent.
Sargent. He
Yeah.
drove brilliantly
Pogan
all
Pargent.
race. Yeah, dude, okay. Eagle and all that stuff, and you say he's the most American name ever. Whatever it is, you have to give credit where credit
Nah,
is
man. The
deserved.
most American
In
driver was
qualifying,
Scott Speed.
yeah, fair play. That name. But dude, have you seen Logan Sargent's full name? It's Logan Hunter Sargent.
Yeah.
That is by far. What are you
Gaurav
doing,
looks
my
cute.
guy?
Gaurav
Yeah, I
is
have
trying
to
to see
go,
how he
bro. You
looks.
have to finish this podcast fast.
Yeah, so just give me
I'm
1 second.
sitting.
So this guy was brilliant. Qualifying, he put it so close in getting into Q2, and he drove his race really well, really clean, put a few really good overtakes as well. And then you look at Piastri. I mean, I'm sorry, but
Bro,
That
I
the
don't know
car
McLaren
was
just
what they
went.
shit
were
for
saying.
you. The car was
Bro,
shit
what are
for
they
him.
saying? Bro, I don't understand. What are this? What is Christian Horner say? The Piastri is the next Verstappen. Bro, Verstappen should take that as like a disgrace.
Insult.
I don't know what. Yeah, like Christian
No, but
Horner
then
saying.
to come in your first year and win the championship like that is not a joke, man. You should know
Yeah.
that. You
Yeah,
of all
no,
people should know that.
I give Piastri the full credit, but then I'm sorry, McLaren failed.
That
You.
McLaren,
McLaren failed. You.
McLaren is just giving fucking heartbreak. That is not
Yeah.
Piastri's fault. That's
And
McLaren's
did you
fault.
see the situation he had with the steering? I was
Yeah,
watching
Oh, yeah.
combos of
he
it.
went like
Man,
that.
the
It
car
started.
shut down
He
on
went
him
like
like
that.
3 or
It
4
shut off.
times in one lap.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
even
definitely.
dude, this guy Franz Tost came out and said, this guy is going to come and destroy Sonoda. Sonoda took it personally and destroyed De Vries. I am so happy for
No, but
Sonoda,
then he would have
man.
again. He would have also finished behind De Vries if there wouldn't have been a VSC.
Yeah, but
But
dude,
De
if you look at the qualifying, I'm just talking about qualifying.
Yeah, qualifying.
Race,
Yes.
okay.
Qualifying. Yes.
Qualifying,
Okay.
Sonoda went
Go.
faster than
Anyway,
him.
Okay.
that brings us
Okay,
to
and you
the
have to go. Yeah, and
that brings us to
yeah,
the
I
end
go
of
now.
this podcast. I hope you guys enjoyed it. We like talking too much because we are
Yeah.
friends
Looks like it.
and we haven't spoken in a
Yeah.
while.
And
But
we're gonna commit, like we're gonna shoot one every week from today. Yeah.
Not every week, every race week. So we have enough time for ourselves also because we're all tired of work. You can see you're
just
about to run away, bro.
yeah, exactly.
What are you all about?
Guys, we love doing this, and we hope that you love watching it and listening to it, whatever. Like, comment, subscribe,
Share,
follow, leave a
subscribe.
rating,
Yeah.
send
Uber
love,
nahi hai.
send happiness.
Okay, chalo. Ciao. Bye. Bye.
All right.
Bye.
Bye
See
bye.
you. FE